Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. 1,000 puzzles solved. We were over in not non-boxy but loopy, weren't we? And we need 10 more still to get gold, but every time I look at these my brain just doesn't work when I sit and stare at them. So there's a lot of watchtower. What one is this? There's a decent amount of difference. We could probably get a gold window over here today if we try hard. So 5, a 4. Oh, this is 4 but with big numbers. Indicates the difference between areas of the regions. So I'm looking at this and I'm wondering if it might... There's 20 here. If we had, let's just say, a 10 minus a 9 would be a 1, minus an 8 would be a 2, minus a 7 would be a 3, minus a 9 would be a 1, and minus a 7 would be a 3. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 makes 20. That seems like a great insight to have immediately had my brain have. So that would then need to be what? Like a 1, a 2, a 3. But how do we have the 9 and the 7 sharing this? That's the problem with this, isn't it? Yeah. If this 9 wasn't here, if it was like there or something, might go a lot more smoothly. 7. 3 and 7 makes 10. But then 10... 10 minus 9 could be 1, if this is the 10. But then that would be 3 and 9 makes 12, which isn't going to go. And I can't do the 3 there, because then that problem persists on this side. There's something there with that. Something. If this was 3 and 3, right, then this would need to be 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 minus 8 would be 4. Yeah, that doesn't really work. Is there something else I can use to get there? For a 9 to exist, it has to be at least a 10 and a 1. This would also have to be at least a 10 and a 1. We can't have 2 10s. So we know that 2 of these have to have the same... The stuff that touches the 9s has to be the same. And that's going to be the same for the stuff that touches the 7s. Doesn't necessarily have to be the same for the thing that touches the 8. Which is trickier. So, what can I do with that? Is a fantastic question. I don't know where I can make the numbers work with the 9s and the 7s. This would be a 1 and a 1. If I had an 8 going between those, it wouldn't work. And this is one of those puzzles where there's so little to go on If I can't see an in, I don't know what much else I can do about it. Other than knowing that two sides of this have to be the same. That could be a 2, but this can't be a 10 and an 11. And we can't have a 10 and an 11 on the board at the same time. Part of me wonders if the 7s have to touch and the 9s have to touch, but how that ends up going. So you got 10, 8 to 2 works. 10, 9 to 1 works. 10, 7 would have to be to 14, which is never going to work. Ten, 9 to 1. 1, 7 to 8 isn't going to work. I don't see it, and that's annoying. I need something with more stuff. What have we got under here? Hiding. There's something right there. Oh, God. We've been here before. Palisade difference, but the differences are all zeros. Well, let's start by colouring in what we know. That's going to exist. That's going to exist and have a ambiguous other side. That's going to exist and have an ambiguous join. That's going to exist and have ambiguous edges. That's parallel to that, and these colours have to go at least to here. You go to there and there, you go to there. You have an ambiguous side, you have an ambiguous side, you have an ambiguous side. So, that's our start. Where do we go from there? Great question. The difference is for numbers, not for shapes. So this is at least 3. Okay, well, this is 4. Because it's either going to do that and be a dead end, or that and be a dead end. So this also has to be a 4. With ambiguity. So this would either have to be 1, 2. That could be 4. Couldn't it? That would be allowed. If it came out this way, can't do that as a 4. Can't do that as a 4. Can't do that as a 4. Can I see any other way to make this work as a 4? I don't think so. So that removes that ambiguity. This still has ambiguity up to there, but that's fine. I'm going to wager... No. I was making a too quick false assumption. What can we do now? It's a great question. If this did this, that would have to be at least 4. And that can't be 4 inside of it. So, I think this has to go to here. And that has to go to there. This is then at least 5. But it's probably going to be bigger than 5. Which means this has to be greater than 5. Otherwise, it feels like there's now just kind of a lot of room for me to have to figure out where I'm going with this. Well, this has its edges drawn, so this will be this and this. This can't be opened that way, so that's going to get a line. This can't be opened that way, so that's going to get a line. It could still be this. No, because that now that this has a line, it has to be that, if I'm happy with what I just did. Let me just try and work through that again. So, this must do this. And then this is only going to have one line on it. If it's this line, this can't take that, so it would go like that. If it's this line, that would do that, which it can't. If it's this line, it would do that, which it can't. It can't be that line, so it would have to be this line. Which means that has to be a line. Which means that would have to be open to here and here. Okay, I'm fine with this, I think. What's next? It's a fantastic question. It's only a difficulty 4 puzzle, so it doesn't feel like it should be something I'm going to get super duper stuck on, but I've at no end I've argued about how the difficulty ratings on the puzzles sometimes makes no sense to me. Okay, so this is ambiguous to here, but it's got to be size 4. This could exist there. This could exist. It obviously can't do that, but that's by the by. What else do we know? You're going to be parallel. If you're parallel this way, that would be fine, I think. If you're parallel that way, that would also seemingly be okay. Right now, this is 5 minimum. For this to get to 5, it could do... Oh, no, it can't do that. It has to do that. There's a disambiguation I hadn't touched previously. So it can't do this. It would have to do this, take that line, into here. Can't take that line. Can't take that line. So it would have to be that line into here for at least 6. Which means this can't take this. Would have to take that up to at least 7. This is 6. Can't take that because then this is left alone. So that would have to come to here for at least 7. But that's going to have to take on at least 2 more for 9. For this to get 7, you'd have to go 8, 9 to 10 minimum. So this now needs 7 plus 3 plus 3 to 10. Which would mean this is locked. This has been disambiguated. This has been disambiguated. That's been disambiguated. That's been disambiguated. I believe that would have to exist just on its own. And then if this is 10, or yeah, whatever this ends up being, around 10 plus, would have to be this as well at 10 plus. This cannot come down to there. Oh, okay. Well, hold on. That's going to put that there with this and this. That puts this now at 9. It can't pick up this tile, so it would pick up that one. And that would be 10. And those two are both 10s on either side of this. I'm pretty happy with that. Like the way that drew out for color felt nice. Which means, I believe, if all being sensible in my head, this can't go through there because if we took this, then there's not 10 here to build up to. And if it took this, there's not 10 for there, which means this is going to do... Oh. Is it going to do that? I don't think it can do that, can it? Oh no. Oh no. The way that tallied up felt so nice, and now I don't know how I'm going to build 10 out of what I have left here. Because I can't take that corner. Oh, hold the phone. That can be 5. And that can be 5. 9. How do I make you 10? 9, 10. 3, 1, 1. Hold on, hold on. Hey. That's nice to see one that I had been looking at previously and given up on, and then came back to and managed to find my way through it. That's very nice. Very happy about that. That puts us at 42 of 43 needed for gold. We can find and do one more today. 6, 7, 6, 4. I could do a 4. You'd hope. 1. Oh, God. Okay. Get ready for some writing of numbers here. So they show the specific difference. So this is a 2, a 3, a 5, and a 4, and a 4, and a 4, and a 3, and a 2, and a 3, and a 2, and a 2, and a 4, and a 4, and a 4, and a 3. No, 2, 1, 2, 3. And a 4, and a 4, and a 4, a 2, and a 3, and a 3, and a 4, and a 4. Size separation. Neighboring regions must have different areas. Okay, that tells me that these 2s cannot encroach on each other. So that's a line. It also means that where we have these 4s, they can't all be part of a 5 together. And so there's going to have to be either that pair of lines or that pair of lines. Same for these. Well, it's this tile really helps because this can't exist as a 5 and this can't exist as a 4. So I think this has to exist out independently on its own. I think. Because it can't be part of any 4. These 4s are shocking. There you go. So what next? Well, this either has to be of both of these 4s or neither of them. But that's the same for this tile, and this tile, and this tile, which doesn't do lots for me. These 2s here are the same story as these 2s here, so those, let us build those and put boxes around them. That's nice. The 5 at the top is the only one that is demanded of the rule set. So, what does that tell me? I'm trying not to just let myself go off of vibes. Okay, this tile can't be part of a 3 because the three threes border it. Therefore, it cannot belong to any 3. And therefore, this 3 has to go to there to get out, which means that 5 has to come to there to get out. This 3 has to come to here. That's a line. It's going to do either this or this, so that is ambiguous. But that's doing a lot for us. This 5, if we draw a line here and take those out, there's a 5 and a 4 amongst 10 here. So I would suspect that these two 4s have to be in a group together, because there's no way we could put those 4s together and then do 5 and still have these 2, or this 4, make 4 when there's only 2 left. So I suspect these are part of the same group. Just don't know quite which way. Oh, well, it can't, it could go this way, because it could do that. I was just thinking that it definitely can't go to this tile here. So, that's a line. That means that it can't be this, leaving 1, so I think it has to be that. Then that would have to be a 1, and this would be a 4, and that would be a 3. That 3 has to touch that one. I should have seen that earlier. That puts that at a 4 coming straight down. Me. What else? What else? Great question. Trying to work with what we have that we know. This 4 is either going to have to touch this 4 or this 4. Because it's either going out that way or this way. But it can't do both. Well, this 3 can't touch that tile there, because then you'd have 3s touching 3s, which is no good. So that means this 3 is getting out to here. Could go up, leaving a 1. Could come across, leaving a 2 and a 1. But there are no multiple solutions for stuff, so, you know. That 4 could do that. So I'm not certain about what's going on up there yet. This 2 could go either way. That 3 could go either way. That 2 could do anything. I want something else that I know to be certain. Okay, this can't be a 1. So it has to get out. It can't be a 2. But that 2 has to go out to here. Okay, okay. This can't be a 3, it can't be a 4, so that's just a 5. Happy enough with that. So... this tile here has to be a 3 or a 4, because it can't be a 2, and it's... it could be a 1, I guess. 1, 3, or 4. It can't be a 3, because if it did that, it would touch this. So it's a 1 or a 4. If it's a 1, then this can't be a 4, because it would touch another one. If it's a 4, it could do this. Doesn't really help me though, does it? Oh, big stretch. Ooh. The temperature over the next few days, I'm not sure when this video is going out, but over the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th of June, it's slated to get about 35 C here in England / Wales. I sometimes forget, my brain forgets I moved to Wales, but yes, I am in Wales. But still, the temperature is going to be like 35 C, which I don't know that I've ever seen weather forecasts for where I live be that high. And we don't have air conditioning, so it's going to be miserable. Okay, this is doing this or this. I feel like I have to figure out something with these 4s, and I don't know what it is, and I don't like it. This was 1. Can it be 1? If it's 1, this would have to be 4, which is not allowed. It could be 1, then that could be 3. That could be 4. But then... oh, that could be 4. It's not pretty, but it could be. Except that can't be a 1 or a 2 or a 3. Okay. I think that works out at then this being a 4. I think. Which means that's a 3. That's a 4, that's a 1, that's a 1. 1, 2, 3... oh dear. That can't work, because I can't go to here touching a 4, or there touching a 4. Alright, go back to this 2x2, because that's where we last knew we were definitely fine. Oh, this could do that. And that could be the 3. And then that would be a 4, a 3, and a 5. How does that play out? I wonder. Let's see if we can find out. So, that. 4. Oh, I can't do that one. 4, 4, 2. 2. 4, 3, 1, 1. Alright, well. We got there. And that is another golden window on difference. Very happy about it. We zoom over here, we can see we have 10 silvered windows, Oh, no. That's not how that works. We have 10 rubied windows. We need 15 rubied windows to make this silver. These are the super mega hards. And this is the spiral mountain. Apparently this might be the hardest puzzle in the game, perhaps. But there's a lot of stuff here that still uses compasses and like all of the really big nasty rules that I still haven't really internalized enough. So at some point we're going to have to do more compass and loopy and watchtower, because compass, loopy, watchtower are kind of the big three for not being really deeply instilled into my brain. Even our old friend... Oh, come on. Where are you? Where are you? All the way back here. Gemini and Delta I'm reasonably alright with these days. But yes, plenty of that for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.